Welcome to the IntraZone, a show about the Microsoft 365 Intelligent Intranet. I'm Mark Cashman, here with Brad Gussin from the SharePoint engineering team to discuss a lot about Microsoft 365 Backup, both the offering and the ecosystem.
Thanks, Mark. On today's episode, we chat with Karinne Bessette from Veeam about their integration of the Microsoft 365 Backup Storage platform into their Veeam Data Cloud for Microsoft 365.
There's a lot going on with this backup space, and I'm really excited that we've jumped into it as Microsoft, an offering that we offer. But before we jump into your interview with Karinne, do you mind just taking a step back to talk about the new Microsoft 365 Backup Storage powered offering that we offer, and of course the value of what our partners bring to the backup ecosystem?
Definitely. So the Microsoft 365 Backup Storage platform is our solution that helps provide faster, more performant, more reliable and resilient and more secure recovery and continuity options for our end customers. And we are offering this through a native solution, but we're also supporting our ISV and partner ecosystem to deliver the value and benefit of that platform with additional capabilities through their applications. It's something that Microsoft and Microsoft 365 and SharePoint Exchange has done for a long time, which is to empower and leverage our ISV partners to deliver great comprehensive solutions to our end customers that we might otherwise not be able to support for them. And that's really a win-win-win for everyone, for us, for the customer, for the ISV. Everyone gets more value out of a growing and healthy, thriving ecosystem of solutions on Microsoft 365.
All right, with the triple win, then I think we understand the why is Microsoft getting into this space. Let's talk a little bit about what the offering is. And this might be kind of a licensing question just to orient people. A, what is this backup solution? But also B, like where as an admin or somebody who's considering getting Microsoft 365 backup, working with our partners, what do they need to do? Where do they need to go?
Yes, so adopting an ISV solution, a partner solution such as Veeam's that's built on top of the Microsoft 365 Backup Storage platform is as easy and simple as really installing any ISV application. So the customer can go check out the Azure Marketplace to find Veeam's solution. They can go to Veeam's website or talk to their field to get the solution that's integrated with our backup storage platform. Veeam effectively pays for that storage on their backend, and so you just need to procure or license from Veeam however you want. Our native offering is a pay-as-you-go service, and so you will pay based on the number of gigabytes of storage you're consuming in the backup platform per month. And so it's a little bit different than our standard per user license, but whether you want to get it directly from us or from one of our great partners such as Veeam, it should be a pretty simple process overall, and we have some good Learn docs online to help you think through that as well.
So the getting it, certainly not a challenge. I think the part of this episode, during your interviews, you're really going to get into the depth of what does Veeam offer, and specifically how do they bolster both our offering and the customer value. And that's where I wanted to spend a couple minutes before we get into your interview with Karinne. What are the most common scenarios when people think of, why do I back up my data beyond the defaults that are standard in Microsoft 365? Why do I even consider a backup solution from Microsoft or a partner?
Great question. So we have pretty good high availability and disaster recovery built natively into the Microsoft 365 service. And we have pretty good end user and site admin level restorability capabilities from things like versioning or from site rollbacks and things like that. But where there are gaps today are really related to at-scale mass recovery from things like a ransomware attack or an accidental or malicious rogue app or user who corrupts or overwrites or deletes content across the tenant at a pretty large scale. And so when you want a tenant level admin to be able to recover a healthy prior point in time copy of your data to recover from those kinds of attacks and gain real business continuity and resiliency assurance, that's where this new backup storage platform comes in to help the customer accomplish that. And then our ecosystem partners add a whole lot of value on top of that in terms of intelligent workflows, single pane of glass solutions, and other kinds of support in terms of figuring out how to recover, et cetera. And so we're providing this robust, reliable, performant, and secure platform to enable mass recovery while enabling our partners to deliver even more features and experiences on top of that.
And maybe just before we get into the interview, if you wouldn't mind expanding just a little bit on the approach that Microsoft, through the SharePoint team, and of course, maybe just landing on this specific offering of backup. Our strategy oftentimes is through partners. There's a really healthy ecosystem. Do you mind just giving our audience a sense of what our ecosystem strategy is and how that plays into how you've been working with our partners?
Sure thing. Yeah, really from day zero of our inception of this concept of providing this new backup storage platform, we did want to provide a native offering to give the customers who prefer that ability, but really focus on supporting our ISV ecosystem because we know how much value that they add to our customers time and time again. And we really wanted to make sure that we are promoting a healthy ecosystem to make sure that the customers, the end customers, get everything that they really want and need. And that comes with optionality. It comes with a broad supported competitive ISV ecosystem out in the market. And so that's why, again, from day zero, we really took the go-to-market strategy of empowering and leveraging ISV resources, IP, intelligence, and engineering prowess.
Well, it is a healthy ecosystem out there, and I'm very excited to get into the interview that you had with Karinne. So I think without further ado, let us back up, take a break, and hear your interview with Karinne from Veeam Software.
I'm happy to be joined today by Karinne Bessette from Veeam to talk about how they are integrating the Microsoft 365 storage platform into their offering to provide you with best-in-class solutions for your backup and restore needs. Karinne, welcome to the Intro Zone. Really glad to have you here. Why don't we start off by having you tell us a little bit about yourself?
My name is Karinne Bessette. I'm a technologist here at Veeam Software. I specialize in the Microsoft 365 side.
Really excited here to be talking with you about Veeam's integration with our platform.
We have a lot to talk about today. We've been working on this partnership with the integration for the backup storage API for a while now. When did we start?
Yeah, probably about a year ago. I think we've been talking about just this piece.
That's kind of where I was thinking. It's been a fun year getting to learn the intricate parts of both our development and your development departments working just in sync, getting this out there. We're one of 6 that were behind the scenes working on this with you for big companies. Now, to hit it off, what are you hearing from customers and challenges that they face with just data recovery and backup recovery?
It's a great question. I think I'll start by sort of framing this in the context of data growth in general. And so data is really growing at an incredible rate in Microsoft 365. As of this recording alone, we're seeing more than 2.5 billion files created every single day in Microsoft 365. And in addition to that, we're seeing many tenants growing by more than a petabyte a month. And with all of that data growth, it's becoming very challenging to back up and restore content at that kind of scale to meet business continuity needs that customers have. And so with all of this growth in content and the increased sensitivity of data privacy, the complexity of metadata labeling requirements, and the security needs and demands of customers, they're really looking for new solutions that rise to the challenge of these scale requirements. And that's one of the reasons we're here talking today.
Yeah, I can remember when terabytes was a lot of data, and we've moved on to petabytes and zettabytes of data. It's just growing at this exponential rate, and being able to protect that in a way that still meets the SLAs for customers is something we've had a lot of conversations about the last couple of years. Now, there are all kinds of challenges, including that we've been able to discover from the Veeam side. We do have our data trends report. This report we actually send out to over 1,200 people in different countries, different industries, different job types. From these reports, we then gather the data from third-party analysts to say, hey, what kind of issues are you facing when it comes to software as a service? What kind of issues are you facing in the compliance or security aspects? When we send out these reports, they then get us all of this great information back, and we spend some time parsing what does this actually mean to end users. It used to be a couple of years ago, accidental deletion was the number one facet for data loss in any of these environments. And when you think of accidental deletion, this is maybe a few megs to a few gigs of files lost in a period of time. But there's been this shift in the last few years to cybersecurity and compliance being the number one reason for data contention in the SaaS environment. And when we start to see cyber attacks, we start to see terabytes and petabytes of data needing to be restored back to these environments or recovered to these environments, which has led to this entirely new concept of large data. Have you guys seen a lot of the same aspects from your perspective?
Yeah, exactly. We hear these cases of ransomware attacks, of cybersecurity breaches on an increasingly growing cadence, I guess. And, again, their customers are running into these challenges at the scale of content that they have growing in their tenants today, and really looking for new solutions to battle those challenges.
Absolutely. And on top of all of that, we have a completely new landscape of cyber attacks. Ransomware is still a top concern, but we've really run into the exponential growth of data in these environments. I can remember on the on-premises SharePoint days, it was a nightmare to configure a new SharePoint site, figure out all of the sharing between different users. I don't think I ever got it successfully running as an admin, but with this new software as a service stage, it's made it easy, which means end users are able to consume this platform, upload data, have collaborative files back and forth, which is, I think, a big reason why we see a explosion of this type of data overnight.
Yeah, I think that's very accurate. Everything you're saying, we're sort of hearing the same scenario concerns, the same growth concerns from customers to meet their business continuity and resiliency needs.
So this really brings us to the heart of the conversation today: the Microsoft 365 backup storage. So give us some insights and behind the scenes on what this is and where the development cycles came here.
Yeah, thanks, Karinne. I think the Microsoft 365 backup storage platform, on top of which Veeam is building an integration, is really Microsoft 365's preferred avenue for customers to meet their backup and restore needs. The reason it's preferential is because it provides ultra high speed bulk backup and restore, orders of magnitude faster than what traditional solutions can give. So that means that a company can be protected in a matter of hours, and then in the case of an attack, can get their business operations back up and running in a matter of hours instead of potentially weeks or months in some cases. And so this is really the best way for customers to get operational resiliency in the face of a potential ransomware or malicious admin attack. It also provides really tight security control and privacy restrictions because the data is staying within the Microsoft 365 trust boundary and doesn't require overly permissive application data scope grants, meaning that the applications that are running the backups and restores are limited primarily to just those operations. No need to grant excessive visibility to your company's private data. And so all of that together, that speed, that security, that privacy, that compliance, all wrapped up together, really provides really a new breed of backup and recovery solution for customers' growing needs with their data.
So, Brad, I want to ask you one of the hard questions. Do we have any preview numbers that we can share here for the types of speeds that we're seeing, just even in the development side versus what we can maybe hope in the future?
Yeah, it's a good question. Right now, we're seeing roughly for example, if you take like 1,000 sites of average size, maybe 30 gigabytes, we're seeing roughly about 3 terabytes an hour of restore, which is more than an order of magnitude faster than you can get with traditional solutions. And so that all kind of ties in again to the value prop that Veeam's integration with Microsoft 365 Backup Storage offers, the ability to get your business back up and running exceedingly fast, orders of magnitude faster than otherwise possible, which is really important when you're sort of hit by one of these events.
Taking a look at our numbers on the back end for the solution today, I would say that's probably at least 30 times faster than anything that we've been able to see testing across the board on the market. And we're just so excited to get to be a part of this platform and integrate these APIs into our Veeam Data Cloud. Integrating it into the Veeam Data Cloud, we're going to be able to offer you everything you expect from our services on top of being able to orchestrate the backup storage API integration from the Microsoft environment. So this means you're going to have the flexibility to get your data back into your environment at the speeds to help with the business continuity plans that we all have to meet.
Given all the great benefits we just discussed for Microsoft 365 Backup Storage, solving some of the scale, speed, security, privacy challenges that customers are facing today, I'd love to get your thoughts, Karinne, on what Veeam Data Cloud is doing with this integration, how they add even a lot of additional enhancements and benefits on top of this.
Absolutely. Combined with our solutions, we can help organizations meet all of the recovery scenarios, whether it's a disaster situation for a large amount of data where they need the speed behind the scenes, or restoration of granular data types, such as email, and advanced search to extract any type of data that they may need for that backup recovery. Our Better Together story is really about combining these solutions with our Veeam Data Cloud. Our Veeam Data Cloud allows us to get the Microsoft 365 backup suite from our traditional backup process and combine that with a Microsoft 365 backup storage for the flexibility of restoring the entire data without having to leave the Microsoft 365 environment. This rapid option allows us to customize the solution to each of the customers, as well as provide dynamic and adaptive changes to any environment. Is there anything that we haven't covered today that you might think would be important to customers to understand about our relationship?
This covers things pretty well. Overall, these challenges exist, and I think it's great that Veeam is integrating. You're offering a lot of key capabilities in terms of data management, in terms of backup management, in terms of various user identity controls of those backups. And I've heard too lots of really cool technology coming down the pipe from you that hasn't yet been announced yet, but I think just talking with your engineers, pretty cool stuff coming up in the future, and I'm really excited about those future announcements as well. Anything else you want to add, Karinne?
Absolutely. We're excited about a lot of those technologies, including, but not limited to, the Entra ID and our integration with the Copilot built inside of the Veeam Data Cloud portal.
Great. Yeah, really, AI is the wave of the future, and it can only help customers protect their estate and recover quickly. So that's a pretty exciting future announcement you have there, too. Really enjoyed chatting with you, Karinne, today.
It has been an absolute pleasure.
We want to thank our guest, Karinne from Veeam, for both being on the show and helping us share more about their backup solution and, in the broader context, understanding what is Microsoft 365 backup, both the native offering and how our ecosystem, through partners like Veeam, support making it an even better offering for our customers.
Thanks, Mark. Again, thank you for having me as a guest on the show. It was a lot of fun, and I hope we did a good job educating our customers to make their lives more productive and valuable. We encourage you to check out our show page for links to all of what we discussed today and more. Go to aka.ms/theintrozone.
And if you have any backup questions or you have any feedback for the backup team, whether it's the SharePoint team or anything we can pass along to Veeam as a question to them, you can reach us via email at theintrozone@microsoft.com, or you can chat us on Twitter at SharePoint, at Veeam, and at mcashman. And if you've got anything for Brad specifically, you can mention me and I'll make sure to funnel it right over to Brad, no problem.
Great. And remember to rate, review, and tell your friends about the show. Follow the show wherever you get your favorite tech podcast.
Thank you for listening. We are Mark Cashman and Brad Gussin, and this has been The Intrazone, a show about the Microsoft 365 professionally and securely backed up intelligent intranet.